People say you can't do business with family. Why not? Family is the cornerstone of everything we do in our lives. It makes me think, if this person was my father, if this person was a brother, a sister, like what type of value, how can I help them?
Getting really motivated, and then you come home and motivation only lasts for some time, then there's no real action. Through just research, I realized it's important to have coaches. And then I was listening to Oprah, and Oprah has like 5 coaches, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing?
The reason why I'm passionate about this, because I've seen the effect these podcast interviews have had with people in my life. I've seen the impact on social media that it's done. If they're having impact from this and value from it, if I am having it, I know there's thousands of other people out there who can have that same value. Okay, welcome back to the Rubasha Family Podcast. Now we're here in a new setting, another repeat guest, an amazing guest. And look, we just started having a coaching session, actually off camera, but I said, let's turn the camera on and just, there's so much value you've been able to provide. Sorry guys, I have Auntie Stacey on the show. I didn't introduce to the guest. You guys are used to her. We have an episode that is ready to come out. That was an amazing episode. And we're just here for more. So how are you?
Good, and lovely to be here. What an amazing space and part of the world that we live in.
It's an amazing view here, guys. We can see the Harbour Bridge, the beautiful water, the beautiful view. And like you said before, what we take for granted sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, we do.
So I'm here, guys, with our wonderful author, leadership strategist, and you've been able to provide a valuable coaching session for me. So let's just kick it off what we were talking about. I was telling you about this business that I'm doing, within the content creation industry, podcasting, and let's go off. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just talking about really being very clear on the small units of your business, that it's the only way you can then grow when you understand. For example, for you, because you're doing podcasting, once you do that shoot, how much does that shoot cost you and how much money are you making off it? So don't take the grand number, because that grand number could look really beautiful, but then off that grand number, minus your business cost, and not as a whole. It's really good to look at your business as a whole, but you really need to dissect your business to the really small units. And then it makes sense. And it's the only way to grow. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah. So like you're saying, for example, from the minimum, right, we provide the clips for a company for their marketing, 5 clips, $500. But like you said, so now getting there, how much does it cost you to get to the interview, the time it takes? So take all the expenses, and so then that's the number. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then when you're saying, I want to make, for example, 5,000 a week, how many of that do you have to then do for you to get to the 5,000? Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like you said, then, okay, then now can you upsell? And then I think with the upsell is, once you provide that value and that service straight away and people see how good you are, it's okay, then like, how can you, Yeah,
anything we do, and particularly because you're in a service sector, people have to have something tangible to feel. And yes, you're giving them the podcast and the clips and all that, but it's the value that you bring in. It's the experience that matters for the customer. That's how you're going to have repeat business. That experience. So you think about it, and this morning we are here in a beautiful spot. That experience for a guest, amazing. Yeah. So think about your business and how you can create that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing I haven't asked you is, obviously you're in this content creation, podcasting, and what is it that you're doing different from everybody else? What's your unique selling proposition?
I like that, the unique selling proposition. I think with our unique selling position, I really believe, like I've looked at also the podcasting space in Australia. Not only is there very few who are doing video podcasting, a lot of here in Australia it's audio, but what our unique proposition is our omnipresence on all platforms and our consistency. So for example, like when it comes to marketing, not only are we just on one platform, we're on YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, so we're omnipresent on all platforms, and we're just able to have that consistent presence you know? And so like when it comes to now working with someone, not only are they on our platform in front of a larger audience, but our editing and our creativity within providing clips that has that emotional resonance with it in a family podcast.
In a family podcast. So your unique proposition, because everybody's going to say, I'm going to take you out there to all the platform, I'm going to do these things. So your thing is that family environment. So that's what you really want to bring people into, that, you know, we create that environment that is family-like. Yeah?
I like that, yeah. And it's true. And I think with like the family, it has that emotional resonance, you know, and like it's that connection. So, you know, for business people who, you know, family is involved in everything, whether it's like a real estate company or you're a business coach, like there's mothers, there's fathers, there's people who are in business who need someone like you, who need a coach, who need to be able to have someone accountable. So I think, like you said, our unique proposition is family.
Yeah.
I like that.
So so it's always good to think, what is it, what it makes me stand out in the market. And that's what you need to tell your client, like, this is what you don't only get this, but this is also what you get when you bring us to the journey. So for the sake of the people who are listening and are maybe wanting to do business with you, as your coach, I want to ask you, talk to us through your customer experience journey. From the moment you engage them, what would that look like for them?
Okay. So our customer experience journey, and like you said, it's a good question because it's so important, you know, and for me, actually coming into business, it's not just about like, what can I take from people, but it's like, how can I give? So when you talk about the customer experience, it's like, I want to treat the person that we're, you know, interviewing or creating content with like a family member, you know, so it's really bringing in, so coming in for an interview, it's being punctual, it's being on time, it's really being able to be like, how can I get the most out of your story? How can I bring out the most of your story, what your business is, and the value you provide other people? And in doing that, I really believe we can be able to have that value and have great customer service. So they're coming and seeing the professionalism, seeing the cameras there on time, having an amazing interview, and having that relationship as a friend, as, you know, how can I get the most out of your story? And then after that is being able to be, have that communication now, like, hey, we've got your clips, this is what it is, and being able to provide them with more than actually what they've even paid for, you know, and really having that, you know, for them to be able to show their family, friends, and other people.
Yeah, amazing. And
hey, let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought of starting a podcast? I know it's a scary thought at times. Where do I start? What equipment do I use? How do I produce a whole show? Maybe you're someone out there who loves yourself and loves the message in who you are and how you're spreading your unique gifts out to the world. But you just need a platform to do it on. You need a platform for people to be able to go and hear your unique and valuable story and how you're impacting people's lives. Well, here at the Rubasha Family Podcast, we're really proud to be able to use podcasting to change the world. We have been doing this and it has changed our life. For us to be able to market and be able to tell our stories of people around us and the way it's impacting and adding value to people's lives. You are that person. You have that gift. You have that talent. And that gift and talent needs to be seen. It needs to be heard. Your downfalls, your amazing moments, your business needs to reach more people. That is what we do here at the Rubasha Family Podcast. So for a select few, we can have you as a guest on our show. For me as the host to ask you questions about what you do. This is a skill, creating this content, being able to film, produce it. It is a valuable skill that we have learned and we want to utilize that to help as many people as possible. So you'd have me as your host, ask you questions, get to know you and your business and how to build up your personal brand. We're then able to market and repurpose content from the podcast on all platforms, including your network. So if you really want to be in touch, if you want to be a guest on our show and be able to use marketing material from this valuable podcast, from your valuable story out to more people, we have that available. If you need help and assistance in publishing and producing your own podcast and just don't know how to go about it, how to do it, and you need that assistance, we provide that service as well. Being able to fully produce, edit, and publish your podcast on all networks. And maybe you just need a consultation call, some help in order to, how can you go about this strategy? Strategic ways into thinking on how you can use your podcast as a funnel for your business. You could use the podcast as a funnel for your personal brand, for people to know the face, for people to know your amazing story. If just one person can be impacted from your story, that is what matters. This is something that 100, 200 years from now, your legacy will be remembered by. So the link in the bio, there is a form for you to fill out. Go out there, fill out the form, and we'll get you started on how we can help your personal brand today.
That's important because family is the value. And now you have it on camera because I really want you to listen to that bit once we finish this, because your value proposition sits there. Your unique value proposition sits in the way you spoke about the customer experience journey. So then you can really be able to take it out there, because people need to know what is it that when I come to you that I get. And most importantly there, again, the thing that you brought out is that you're interested in knowing what is important for me.
Yeah.
How can you add value? Yeah? That's so important that you go to business thinking, how can I add value? Not what can I get from you, how can I add value? In knowing the person who's sitting next to you, what they're thinking is, what is in this for me? That's just a human thing. Everybody thinks, what is in this for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you constantly have to answer for them. What is in this for them? So the more you want to add value, the more then it's relatable and the more people are going to want to do business. Yeah. Not sales in business, and we haven't gotten here to talk about, just let me ask you that question. As a business person, what are the 3 things that you think are really important in business?
The 3 things that are really important in business. That's a good question. Service, so the service that I'm providing, relationship, being able to have good relationships with the people that we work with. The third important thing, organization.
Yeah. So those are important, but for your own business to then go out there and stand out, you must brand yourself, you must do the marketing, and you must do the sales. Yeah. And the sales is not coming in, buy me. The sales is the service.
Yeah.
As you spoke about, the service. So you have to be able to brand yourself and brand the products that you're doing. Branding is so important, so important, because people need to know who you are. People need to know what is it. They buy you. They don't buy the content and the clips. They buy you.
Yeah.
So that branding, the marketing, and the sales.
Yeah.
Most of us are not great sales, but it's an art and you learn it. So important for business people that you must learn it. But you're not putting things through people's throat like buy me. It's giving them that experience, and then that's an automatic almost sale. So that's important. But yes, I agree with you, that relationship creation. And it sounds to me like family is very important to you. So we keep coming back to relationship and family. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. The family thing is amazing. But I also want to go back to what you said, because you made some amazing points. Going first back to the value, and it's so true, like, you know, in business, or even let's say in content creation, it's like a lot of people, you're going and you're pitching, oh, I have this amount of views and this is what we do. But you're right. It's like, no, what's in it for them? You know, what's the value that you can provide? And so when I started thinking about this, that was my first thing. I said, Yves, what value can you give, you know, the customer? What value can you be able to give that person? And so when I think about that, it makes me think, if this person was my father, if this person was a brother, a sister, like, what type of value, how can I help them? And then it goes back to the branding, like, you know, being able to document this, tell your story, you know, it's so powerful. And the reason why I'm passionate about this, because I've seen the effect these podcast interviews have had with people in my life. You know, my dad, my mom, someone like yourself. I've seen the impact on social media that it's done. So it's made me like, if they're having impact from this and value from it, if I am having it, I know there's thousands of other people out there who can have that same value, you know?
Yeah.
So I wanted to touch on that. And then, like you said, the 3 important things for business is branding, the marketing, and the sales. And that's very true. The brand is, people buy into the person, you know, who, like, that experience. Yeah. So
it's very important. And that once you brand yourself, then out there, particularly for the young people, that's the way you show up. And you show up in that way, because the way you show up in one place is the way you show up everywhere. I think we talked about this the first time, that the way you show up anywhere. Yeah, you may not think about it, and people will say, oh, but in business I'm like this, but when I'm home, the way you show up in one area of your life, you show up in all areas of your life. Yeah. So, and I always say when I'm coaching that what is it that is not working? Because if you're thinking maybe it's your spirituality that is not working, even your money side is not working. Yeah. And once you fix one, you fix all of them. Yeah. So it's important. And talking about values, personal values, because that's what you bring to the business. Yeah. So I really want to go back to the family. Why is family so important? Because that's a value, and as the people buy into you and they listen here, that's important. So why is it so important to you?
Good question. I love that. You know, when I go back to everything, like when we started this is a family company. You know, this podcast that we started, it's a family company, and it started off just having conversations as family. But then, like, I started to do my research, and I even looked at it that family is the cornerstone to wealth. You know, you look at all the big companies in the world, it started from family, you know, and I think it's something that, for example, the Asian communities do so well, the white communities do so well, is it's like people say you can't do business with family. Why not? You know, family is the cornerstone of everything we do in our lives. So if not only can we create a business with my family and our family and make it into something that's generational, but now when it's approaching other businesses, it's approaching other people like yourself, that family aspect is so important. And if we can start from there, then I really believe we can build amazing relationships and really keep it going, because it's not about the short term, it's about 100, 200 years from now. And if we can start it off with the family vibe, then I think it's
okay. So I want to ask very quickly, in the next 30 days, what are you going to commit to do? 5 things. And I want you to think about those 5 things as things you already have. You're not going to go outside and start looking for them. I call this transactional. It's things you already have that you're going to start now utilizing to grow or to get to the next step that you're wanting to get into. Just think about the next 30 days, what are the 5 things that I'm going to do to really make sure, from a business perspective, to make sure that this 30 days, and then after you do the 5 things you're going to do in the next 30, then 30 days from there, so that's going into 60 days, what are the 5 things that you're going to do, bring in, now things that you're going to go outside and bring in.
okay.
Yeah?
Hey guys, I know you enjoying this video, but I got some exciting news for you. If you're like us here at the Rubasha Family Podcast, and like myself, we all about traveling in style. Now this video is brought to you by Booking.com. Now we all know when it comes to holidays, when it comes to choosing a destination and having the best extensive information and flexibility, Booking.com are gonna do it for you. We've been able to plan so many holidays with our family, our friends, bringing love, bringing joy, bringing inspiration. Life is so precious, life is so joyful, and you always want to do things with style. You always want to do things with such confidence and drip that you don't want to miss out. When it comes to looking for amazing accommodation, hotels, whatever it is, Booking.com is the place to go. I personally experienced it, and it's all about giving value and service to people's lives. Click the link in the description. You don't want to miss out on that. And let's get back to the video. Okay, so yeah, what are the 5 things I'm gonna do, like you said, that I'm already doing now?
Yeah, things that something that is already in your access, you don't have to go and look for it, that you're gonna either continue to do, stop to do, to grow the business, yeah? Or to take the business to where you wanna take it.
And it's like the 5 things of like something consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that 30 days,
the next 30 days, you need to think, what is it now that I need to go out? Look, for example, somebody who's starting their business, the first 30 days could be, I need to really sit down, work out what my unique proposition is. I need to sit down and understand who am I going to market for? And then the others going 30 days, so to your 60 days is thinking, I want to get branded. I want to do marketing. So for you, with your business, I want you to think about what are those 5 things that you could be doing to then that are outside to grow the business.
Grow the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then is thinking, and we did this last time, is what are the 5 things that are going to be in your stop to do list? Do not do. So we constantly taught to do a to-do list. What I want you to start having is a not to-do list. What are things that I need to stop doing? Things that are a distraction, things that are not taking me anywhere, things that I need to stop doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. And also talking about our last coaching session, it's crazy. I was actually even going through something in my life, and I looked at that list again, and you said, what is going to hold me back in 2024? So when I saw that, it made me see the value in that question. And I was like, yes, what is going to stop you from going to the next level? And those are things sometimes we don't think about. We're thinking about, of course, the positive things on, what we're going to do and the motivation. But it was when I looked at it and I said, yes. And one of those things, which was what I was going through, was distractions. What is going to stop me from going to the next level are distractions, and that was really good, like the way you formatted that question, and it made me sit down, look and think. And I left those questions blank because I still think they're questions that can still be answered, because I didn't have the answer to that question then. Of course, maybe you can say distractions now in hindsight, but because I was going through it, I said, these are distractions that can stop you from taking it to the next level.
Yeah, and that piece of paper, the 5 questions that really format it's your business, 1-page business sheet. You can reformat it anytime, because you can look at your business anytime and ask yourself these questions. Whether we looked into 2024, but you can go in the remaining month of this year, what is it that I need to do? What is it that's just going to hold me back? And how am I going to grow?
Okay, so now I kind of want to switch it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because this has been an amazing coaching session. So can you tell me, like, how has this been for you? Like, when you started coaching, and just this journey of what you've been able to do for people's lives.
And before we turn the camera onto me and I will answer that question, I want to hear from you, from the session today. What are your 3 takeaways?
My 3 takeaways from the session. My 3 takeaways from what I've taken for this, and I'll just go from the top of my head, was, like you said, what is our unique value proposition? And not only what is it, so now we know, or I know, it's family. So now it's my first takeaway is honing in on your unique value proposition and really selling that, being able to explain that, to be able to communicate your unique value proposition, which is family. The essence of everything we do here is family. So really being able to communicate that well. I liked the 3 important steps, or the 3 significant steps in business, is branding, marketing, and sales. So just always having that as a checklist. And I think one thing we've done well is the branding, in terms of, okay, if I've reached out to you, you go on our page, you're going to be able to see a catalog of, okay, we know this is what they do. Yeah. So I think, like you said, really honing in on the 3 important takeaways in business, which is very important.
Yeah.
And again, you gave so many great points. So there's probably more I can go off, but I'd say the 3rd is going back to the next 30 days. Both of those. Okay, so these 30 days, I can go sit down as soon as I get home, with this interview and everything. Okay, Yves, what are 5 things I can do that are within my reach? Not only what I can do, but how can I expand them? How can I expand them and hone in on them? So if it's, like you said, do the maths. If you want to make this amount of money this week, you need to reach out to this amount of people. So making sure I'm on top of that. And that's something, even like going face to face. You said earlier, how do you present yourself? How do you show up? So if I'm going in great presentation to a business face to face, hey, look, I'm a podcaster, content creation, like, we want to get the story of your CEO, your brand, go and do that and hone in on that. And I think that was great advice. And outside of that 30 days, what's outside of my reach? So can I go and network, or can I maybe, now we're bringing in income, can I hire someone outside that I haven't thought of before? So and the stop to do. So there's quite a lot you've said, but just amazing things for me to take away, and not only just to talk about it, but to put action behind it.
Yeah. So coming to me, you asked about coaching, and what was your question?
How's the journey been for you, and how did you even get started into it?
We give to the world what we need most, and I realized I was going to events and getting really motivated, and then you come home and motivation only lasts for some time, then there's no real action. And through just research, I realized it's important to have coaches. And then I was listening to Oprah, and Oprah has like 5 coaches, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing? So I started being coached, and then I love doing it. And I just realized, even as I sit down with my family, with my friends, constantly what you're doing is coaching. So there's power in listening. Yeah. So, and I realized I do that, and I love doing it. It's something it's a tool I use at work. It's a tool I use everywhere. So I thought, what can I do to grow in this space? And that's when I really took steps towards it. Yeah. And the first training I did was the NLP, like I said last time, NLP. And then I've grown, and I have my own coaches now. And it's really, again, I can't ask my client to pay what I'm not willing to pay. I can't take my client to a journey I've never been. So when we're going deep and inside, I have to have gone deep and inside myself, done the inner work myself to be able to get to that point, to be able to take the person there. I can't coach you on business if I'm not being coached on business. Yeah. So really, for me, the journey has both ways. I've grown. I love spending time with my coaches, and I love when I'm doing it for clients. Yeah.
Wow. It's powerful. And I think you said, there's power in listening.
Yeah.
Because when you're able to really sit still and listen, you're able to then, again, value and provide someone with maybe what they need. So how often do you get coaching?
How often do I get coaching? My coaching is bi-weekly. I used to do my coaching monthly, and then my coach said, no.
Hey guys, I know you're enjoying this video, but please take the time, hit the link in the description and sign up to Yves Rubasha's new screen. You can sign up either monthly or for the year to really invest in yourself, to really cultivate your mindset, cultivate the power of who you truly are. It is all about the knowledge and power that you have with it. And it is the application of the knowledge that is going to take you far in life. This is an investment that is infinite, that has infinite amount of supply, because coming to Yves Rubasha's teachings, experiencing the Word of God. And what is the Word of God? It's about empowering yourself. That is what we're putting here for you. We're cultivating a community of like-minded individuals, for people who want to grow, for people who want to continue to cultivate that mindset of, I can do anything I put my mind to. I can go out and work on my health, work on my happiness. Nothing outside of me is going to make me happy. I can work on my love and my beauty, because I have everything. I am an amazing person. You are too. So hit the link in the description. It's going to take you to sign up for your Uscreen membership today.
The accountability monthly just doesn't work. So bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, so you get coached. And like you said, like Oprah has like 6 coaches, 5 coaches. So like, who are we not to go out there and get coaching? And it's very true. So how long ago did you start?
About 5 years, but really the last 2 years are the ones that I've gone really deep into it. But 5 years ago, I started coaching people.
Wow. And then tell us a little bit about the experience of writing a book. I mean, we touched on it a little bit before, but if you can go into that experience, like how was that journey of, being an author?
Amazing, because it's something I had always thought I wanted to do, and then to sit down and pen things on a paper and then see it become a book, for me was just this journey again of going deep inside and really looking into you and what is it that I know, and research and stuff like that to bring it to the world. And this is the reality of things. There's nothing you'll ever hear that is new or haven't been said before. but it's the people that you reach out, they hear it the way you say it. Yeah. Obviously, my book has my own personal story that is mine, and nobody else has gone through that story. That's me. So I bring that into the world to say, this is my story, this is my journey. But from this story, it's not that these are my key learnings. This is how I've done it. I say Ignite. It's really like a companion when you need a friend to sit there. It's a book you take to really give you that companionship. One of the things I was reading this morning from it is learn to respond, not to react. And how important is that in our lives? Because constantly, even now with what is going on in the world, we want to be in a reactive mode. But if we can learn how to stop, think, breathe, and respond to the situation, but not react to it, whether it's in our personal lives, our intimate relationships, just don't react, respond.
Respond in a great way. It's funny also with you being an author, like my dad said, 50 years of my life, I've never read a book, but then someone I knew was an author, and I was like, how can someone I know write a book? So you were the first book that he ever read.
Right, amazing, yeah. I love to meet people who've read the book and tell me their experiences with the book, but for me, it was an amazing experience. Yeah. And now we find you can go quickly and write something and become a bestseller in Amazon in overnight. Crazy, because it's marketing and sales and stuff. But there's a power in authenticity. That whatever you bring to the world has authenticity.
Power and authentic, and I was totally agree. Really being authentic in the way you present yourself to the world. And again, I always go back to that's why this is so powerful, because even off camera, we were having this discussion. All we've done is just turn on the camera, and it's so authentic. And in that being authentic, it's going to provide value to other people who are watching. So just before we end it, I just want to quite loud. Just before we end it, what is like your biggest advice for the entrepreneur, the family member, whoever's watching this video? What is your biggest advice for them in order to succeed in life?
You're the biggest asset in your life. You're the greatest asset in life. So look after you. Really look after you. Everything you will ever need in life to do anything is inside of you. So we've been conditioned to go outside, external, to look for things, but they are within. So no matter where you are, whether it's business, whether it's professional, whether it's life, wherever you are, and you're looking for a solution, be silent. Go within. You'll find an answer.
Perfect. That was amazing. Well, Auntie, thank you so much for this session. It's really been a great one. Again, to off camera and then now on camera to really, take away these things. And then, like you said, I can look back, watch it, and see even the things that I said to hold that accountable in really going forward. And then I actually wanted to ask you, what's your vision for the next 5 to 10 years? Like what's the big vision for Annastacia?
For me, the grander vision, I want to see 1 million children having a childhood that is not tainted. Yeah, that's why I do make it happen. That's very passionate for me, that children have a childhood. They deserve love. They deserve family. For me, as a person, is growth and just daring and taking the next step, moving from grand to grander, to really moving to the next step. And I'm also raising a king. So really learning that he has got his own life, and I have to let him show me where he wants to go. I need to guide him. But in that guidance is to being the best that I can for him, to be able to be an example and build a legacy in him.
Powerful. Amazing. Thank you so much, Auntie, for taking your time out of your day. I know you're very busy. You got a jam-packed weekend. You want to tell them a little bit about your weekend?
Yeah, my weekend in Melbourne. I'm heading to Melbourne. I've got a very busy Saturday, MC of an event tomorrow, Saturday is going to be crazy. Get up, MC from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And then I've got a self-care event with women in Melbourne waiting for all of you from about 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So it's going to be a busy one, but looking forward. That's what we live for.
Yeah, powerful. And then, guys, the link in the description, you'll have all of Auntie Stacey's details. You know, like we talked about, Oprah has 6 coaches, so why don't you have one? You know, and you guys have been able to kind of be the fly in the wall in what it's like to be coached, you know, by a business coach. And you guys can see, you know, the strategies, the advice that she's been able to give me. I can go and take back and look on that and use that for my advantage. I can use that to grow. And the great thing is this has all been on camera. So when you guys see me 6 months from now, 30 days from now, excelling and documenting that journey, you can see how that has been able to happen. You guys can be able to see, wow, you know, what it's like having a business coach. You know, sometimes people, they think, well, why should I have a coach? But now you can see through the questions you've asked me, just those questions alone, the power in those questions, because, you know, so I heard a quote that God is in the question, why, how, you know, and so with those questions I can be able to use forward to help, you know, what we're doing grow.
And that's all a coach does. A coach should just provoke your thinking. When you come up with all the answers, a coach just provokes your thinking. And they're there to hold space, to let you really dare.
Yeah, definitely. So the link is in the description for you guys. Okay,
thank you. Thank you.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.